Hello and welcome to this week's video, which is going to be the most controversial video I've ever made. Now some of you may have heard of illegal builds. Well, this is going to be downright blasphemy. What can I say? I got curious, and we all know what happened to the cat that got curious. I'm just hoping LEGO aren't using the same hitmen as Boeing are. It's weird we've accepted companies use hitmen. Luckily, most of them are useless. Just like the Boeing airplanes. Starting off completely wrong, I wanted to find out if you can make a functioning cutting board or chopping board depending on where you're from. Yo, how about you crouch down a little bit so you don't have to stare at your crotch? Yeah, alright, that's a fair point. I'm going to test how this chopping board handles a carrot, a potato, and an onion. I also wanted to cut a chicken with this, but what's it called? I didn't do it. And of course I had to try the classic LEGO knife. And I'm gonna see if it can cut through this carrot. Apparently cutting the carrot is just like cutting in a real finger. Don't ask me how I know that. The LEGO knife actually made a dent. Look at that. But as my friends in Australia would say, you call that a knife? This is a knife.
Nope, use this instead. Remember last time?
Okay, alright, fair enough. Cutting board passes the carrot test. Pretty good, hasn't left a mark so far. But let's see how it does cutting through one potato. Pretty good. How about 2 potatoes? Pretty good. How about 3 potatoes? Pretty good. How about 4 potatoes? Pretty good. How about next I'm cutting an onion. Now I may have to apologize to Gordon Ramsay or maybe the entire nation of Italy. I know this is not how you cut an onion. I just got carried away with the filming process. I did come to my senses, peeled it, and cut it decently. And then it just did this for some reason. I understand now why she took the knife. Good call. Before I distance myself from this completely and will forever deny I ever made this, I will admit on the useful scale and practical scale, it gets quite high points. Next up, I'm just gonna level with you straight here. Most of these things are not gonna be useful at all. Except for this thing. It's a mobile phone holder. Now if you're still holding your phone in your hand like some kind of caveman while you're watching this while watching something else, or watching something else while watching this, you're living in the past, man. It can even handle a bigger pad, you just need a bigger back. Next one is a real good one. All you have to do is just take a panel, you can decorate it as you want, put it in a book, and now people think you know how to read. Yeah, we already did this one. Next, I made a coaster to put under your drink so it doesn't make us mock. I also made an ashtray, cause you need some cold ice cubes in your drink. And in the practical sense, it scores quite high. But on the useful sense, this experiment made me realize something about LEGO, which I'll share with you in the end. But first, this is what it mainly failed in. I just couldn't wriggle it out or get the ice out. Maybe if I let it defrost a little bit. But when I want my ice to be iced. But eventually finally managed to get some ice out. And then it was just drip, drop, drop, and bippity bop. Pour in some apple juice. Don't forget a LEGO coaster so it doesn't make us mock. Coming up next, I'm not quite sure what number we're on here, but a nail filer, and this thing actually worked. And I got long nails in my right hand to pick my guitar, let's say. Speaking of something that actually works, now there's nothing wrong with picking your nose. It's what you do after that defines you. Next up, I'm gonna show you the biggest secret LEGO is trying to keep from you. Did you know you could grow your own LEGO? There's a lot of Sims out there who think all you can grow is just basil, tomatoes, and chili, but if you got some time, look into planting any brick from the Botanic series, and it takes about 6 to 8 months before you can yield anything. But I'm telling you, if you're not growing your own LEGO these days, you're wasting your money. I will give you a fair warning, it doesn't work on all bricks. Like I tried to plant a LEGO head to grow a new minifigure, but all that came out was that nail filer I showed you earlier. Finally, we've come to this week's big conclusion or lesson, not that there's a lesson every week, but did you know LEGO is not waterproof? I was determined to prove this wrong. I did not know this, and it ruined my sketch. But before all that, a quick lesson in tea making. Since I've lived over 10 years in Britain, I feel I have the authority to say something about this. First of all, the best tea out there, hands down, is Earl Grey. I guess you could drink green tea if you're trying to impress someone, but life is miserable enough. Why make it harder? Which reminds me, always add honey. And remember, you only need half a spoonful. So obviously the first thing you do is to put your tea in the bag. Some people put the water before the bag, it doesn't really matter. The most important bit is how long you leave the tea bag in the cup. Now, I know on the box it says about 4 to 5 minutes, but I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a smoker, but I don't have that amount of time to wait for my tea to tea. So I just normally leave it in for about a minute or 2. You know, you don't want to get it too bitter. Why advertise your misery? But if you do leave it in a bit too long, just add a little bit more honey and it'll do you great. For God's sakes, remove the tea bag before you start drinking. I think I just buckled under pressure here because I realized everything was going wrong. It was just pouring all over the place and a little bit of meltdown. So as you might have guessed, I got really interested in trying to figure out if I could waterproof my LEGO. So this time I built it in 2 layers with 1x4s and 1x8s placed askewed and on different angles, as you can see with the top here. Maybe you can, or maybe you can't. I also made it double level the base. Let's see how many seconds this one holds. third attempt, I tried 2x4 plates and really stacked them tight together. I also doubled the level of the base at the bottom. I thought I should have done a double layered, but I thought that might have been overkill. I was certain this was gonna work. But eventually, it leaked. And at this point, I just got really annoyed and went and watched Firefly for the 17th time. That's it for me this time as always. Thank you for watching, have a lovely day, and don't forget to press those like and subscribe buttons so I can annoy more people. Thank you very much.